important phase. We're going to get another harmonic balancer off. This one I'm not going to tell you. We're going to get it done in 5 minutes and make it look easier than it really is. It is a tough job. It's a question I get a lot, you know, especially since I did the Ford video and I've done the Chevy videos and stuff. This will be the first balancer that I pulled that's front wheel drive, but to be honest with you, the process is the same no matter what car you're doing if they're pressed on. The balancer must not move, and that's important. Key number one, keep your balancer still. Now, some people have wrote in and said they've actually had some good luck using a strap wrench, although I could see that. But the one thing about these balancers, sometimes you get in some applications that are different. General rules do not apply, and this is going to be one of those cases. The series before this used one where once you pulled the bolt off, the balancer would slip off. It was a slip fit. There was no pressing, and the thing being is if you didn't get that bolt to 218 foot-pounds, well, guess what? The thing would fly off. Most cars don't require 218 foot-pounds of torque, but on this 88 with a 3.8 VIN-K, it does. There are some tools out there you can get to make this job easier, albeit they do cost a bit of money. You try to use a pry bar against the transmission case, and guess what? It will break. It's aluminum. That's why Kenmore has this tool. Alright, in this case you got a couple different options. There are two pullers available. There's an old school way of pulling this, and then you can get the specialty tool, albeit it does cost a lot of money. We're going to try to get away for cheap today for $2. We'll see how it goes. One puller will actually grab the hub here and pull it this way, and the other one, in a second I'll get the camera in a close-up and we'll actually see that they've actually put bolt hole provisions so you can use the general puller with smaller bolts. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if this is going to work. I might still have to buy the $10 toolkit from AutoZone, but let's see if we can't do this the quick and dirty way. Alright, this is strictly for the 3.8 VIN-K. You do have to break this bolt loose. We use an electric impact if we can use it. Sometimes air impact will work, or you've got to basically grab a tool, hold the flywheel, and you break a bar on this side. It gets tight. Alright, let's see if this will work. It's going. Electric impact every time.
I like these a lot better than the air.
Air has more power though. It's got oil on it too.
And coolant.
Yuck. Got a front seal leak too. Well, we'll get to that. Alright, let's see if we can show you these little holes. Little bolts. Right there. And they give you 3 of those. So I got some fine thread. These are 1/4 by 20 thread bolts. We'll see if they work. It may be the wrong thread, I'm telling you. We'll see. There's not a lot of options in my small town, our little hardware store, so we'll give it a go. If not, we're going to AutoZone tomorrow to get the kit. I cannot stress this enough. You got to make sure that whatever you put in here can slide, because the balancer literally has to go past this as you're pushing against it. We're trying to use things you're going to have at home so you can do this job. Now if you notice here, the tool has a curve, so we use these washers to try to break that curve up a little bit, try to make it straight as possible for an easier pull. Don't go in too far because you can go into a timing cover.
Okay, this is just going to be like the Ford.
Pretty much. Yeah, you gotta bind that up.
Screw that nut out.
Oh yeah, you do. There you go.
I don't think that's a good idea, but whatever.
These are grade 8 bolts.
Uh-huh. Oh, dude. Screw this.
There you go. Easy all day long. Win again.
Oh, shit.
What? Is that the socket?
Yeah, the socket did that.
I'll put the bolt in. You're probably fine.
Look at that.
So what went wrong? This is the actual tool used. This is the actual extension we used. And the problem is, once the torque became so great, when we put the tool electric impact behind it, that it actually started spinning this in the thread and actually hurt the first thread. What we should have done is had a tool that had this piece here against here, and that would have worked no problem. Now the other idea I have that would have stopped this is we'd have a thrust bearing on this side, and that again would have stopped this from moving. This moving would cause the thread to shred out a little bit. We did eventually fix it. You'll see that here coming up in the next segment. But in reality, what we should have done is used a brand new Polar with the spinny tool part on it. And we would have had no problems, but I still kind of fear that if the torque became great enough that this would have froze. I would still use to this day this thrust bearing against that, so that way you don't do any damage to your thread. Yeah, well, it wasn't the right tool to use, I guess. It needs to be solid. Well, I guess if you're going to use it, use a solid bore.
Great.
It's fine. It's at the beginning, dude. It's not at the end. Get it straight. It'll correct. Yeah, you're going to have to play with it. You got to get it in there straight, dude.
That is straight.
That is not straight. Can I see it, please? Let me fix it. Fuck.
Sadly, the damage would have been the same if I used the wrench.
I don't understand having that socket there. That should not have done that.
Yeah. That would have been the same size of the thing that you would have bought.
I think it's the first time I ever had a thread go south. No.
Wasn't it on the Camaro?
Yeah, I learned a lot. Kev.
You actually throw it in right now?
Mm-hmm.
Should probably suck it out or hit it with some brake cleaner or something. That's close.
There you go.
Keep that bolt in there.
Yeah. You don't get too many second chances like that, but years of experience, dude. What happens is you hit the top, 2-3 threads, and it feels like you just lost your entire day.
Oh wow, that's a. You gotta check the threads. Make sure that the threads internally are A-OK.
Next time we're going to have a tool that protrudes out, because that should not have happened.
How do the threads look?
Looks fine.
I went on the crank.
Fine.
I still think we should have put a bolt in there, but...
Well, the problem with this particular balancer is that it's the same size as this, and the bolt would have actually got out about this far, and then you wouldn't have been able to get it past. It should have been a solid piece of steel we put in there, like a bolt with the head off. Sorry, people. Expensive mistakes scare me sometimes, but we fixed it. It's a little hard right there, but that's okay, because that's where you need it hard. Alright, that's about the end of the thread. The balancer does not go on that far.
Nobody's perfect.
There's no such thing as perfect. One man is perfect and we ain't it, so we will have jobs that sometimes can go a little sideways, but experience will always teach us how to fix it quick. Alright, we're going to move on to getting the rest of this front cover after that little faux pas.